that we have acquired over the course of the show is the greatest thing that we've gotten from it. Those are the greatest moments, the moments that I get to have with my A-camera operator, or our on-set props, or with Jared, or with Misha, or with Mark, or with Tim, or with these people that I think just breathe so much life and love and color to the world that is Supernatural. That is my favorite thing about the show. So, thanks.
Essentially the same thing. I remember, I remember asking Jensen to stand in my wedding. I remember him asking me to stand in his wedding. I remember meeting my wife on set and asking her name, and she blew me off. It was awesome. I remember getting picked up for the back 9 of season 1, and I remember getting picked up for season 2. But show-wise, there was a 200th episode party that was thrown just for the crew and the cast and their friends and family. And Phil and Todd Aronauer and our team of editors had put together this montage of 10 seasons of Supernatural, and it was on 4 different big old screens, maybe 80-inch screens each or something. And we were at what was it, Pan Pacific? It was called Pan Pacific in Vancouver. And you looked around, it was Eric Kripke and Jeremy Carver and Peter Roth. I mean, you looked around, it was these are all the people that have been involved with getting the show where it was. And then the sound kicked in and the screens turned on, and it was a 3 or 4 minute long compilation, and 4 screens were all showing different things at the same time. And it was a really cool experience to look back and go man, 200 episodes, 10 years, a lot has happened. And it's still going on, and I hope to one day see the 300th episode party. Thank you very much.
Hi there.
Hey guys, my name's Emily. My question is for Jensen.
Sweet.
So I'm a technical theater major. This year I've recently been doing a lot of work in the theater. And Jensen, with your directing and acting, I was wondering how you manage the multitasking and time management.
Great question, technical question. We have an unbelievable team of ADs that have really helped facilitate the expediting of everything that we've done for the past 11 years. So I've had Kevin Parks as my first AD all 5 times that I've directed, and he is a wizard when it comes to time management and doing stuff like that. So I lean on him quite a bit, and I think that's one thing that, in my opinion, the directors that come on our show that haven't directed it before and really succeed at doing so are the ones that are available and use the talent that is the crew that is around them, because they understand it, they know it, they know how to facilitate it and how to get things done. And if they dig their heel, if a director digs his heel in, like Jared's doing, then that can backfire quickly. So, I guess it's easy to say surround yourself with very talented people and it'll make your job a lot easier, but it's true. If you've got people that are in positions that you can trust them to help you move along, then that's key. But you can also do things too as a director. You can, and I lay out a scene and I'm like, okay, this is all the stuff I need. Now let me start trimming. What is excess here? What don't I need? What can I take away that still gets the story told properly? But the key element is to always tell the story and don't sacrifice that. So.
I'm an aerialist in a show here in Vegas, so I do, crazy, scary stuff up high for other people's amusement for a living. So I just wanted to know what the scariest or most exciting stunt you guys did yourselves you didn't give to your stunt guys.
Well, I was going to tell you a cool story about us jumping 12 feet through a church window, but if you're an aerialist in Las Vegas, then 12 feet is probably like what you do in your sleep.
That's not that high.
to explain the situation. It wasn't just like
It was
jumping off a second story, out of a second story window. It was jumping out of a second story window that was opaque. So you trust that there's something there to catch you on the other side when you can't see it. So it's essentially jumping with your eyes closed. And
She's like, yeah.
She's like, yeah, my eyes are closed most of the time.
That was a bit of a like a mind-body disconnect. It wasn't mortifying.
But once I did it once, I was like, oh, let's do it again.
Another thing that I wouldn't say was scary, but was like, oh, this is gonna suck, was the bees, because we knew we were gonna get stung. So it wasn't scary, like we didn't think we were gonna die, we knew we weren't allergic, but we're like, well, this is gonna suck. All right, let's go swat 40,000 bees as they're like pissed off at us. That was pretty scary.
They don't let us do a whole lot of the big, getting tossed and getting air rammed 30 feet and stuff. It's just a liability. I mean, not Todd, but another guy who's not built this for me, Jesse, he got air rammed about 40 feet last year and snapped his collarbone. And so, he's healed, he's fine, he's great, but that obviously put him out, and they can't afford something like that to happen to he or I, even if, some little guy named Oscar Chow decides to break her shoulder. It's Master Chow, to be honest. So they don't let us do those big ones. I've often wanted to do. I've been like, I want to do that. That looks fun, but it's more of an insurance thing. They don't let us. So they will let us do a lot of the smaller hand-to-hand stuff, throwing ourselves into bookcases and things like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, we kind of are handcuffed by liability. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, if you guys ever want to come learn some circus,
hey,
you let me know. I'll make it happen.
sweet. As long as I've got a wire on me, I'm good.
Thank you.
Was it the last question? Yeah. I believe it was the last question time.
All right, guys, this is Sarah, and she is from Bakersfield, Arizona,
Sarah, would you like to sit down, or you just want to hang out?
Massachusetts.
Good choice.
She's from Bakersfield, Illinois. Sarah.
Hi there. All right. So you have the pleasure of asking the very last question. What is it?
Well, as you can see by my shirt, I am campaigning for Crowley Dean 2016.
Make America supernatural again. Naturally super again.
Yeah.
We have the whole cabinet on the back.
President Crowley, Vice President Dean, Speaker of the House, Sammy Boy, Secretary of State Gabriel, Treasury, Kevin Tran. Jesus, you have like 45 different positions. You know a lot of these people are dead.
Chief of Staff, Kane.
Communications
Director, Chuck Schuller. That's good. You don't really want somebody who can communicate being the director of it.
I specifically like Secretary of the Department of the Interior of the Cage, Lucifer.
I can tell there's a certain hierarchy on her list, and the bummer is suddenly you're like comptroller, monster number 5.
Key grip.
So, what is your question?
So my question is, if any character on Supernatural could run for president, who would you pick and why?
Jensen, you first.
Play a little thinking for the answer here.
Well, wow. Oh, that's a good one.
Charlie!
Yeah?
I'm gonna steal from the audience. I go Charlie.
What do you got? Ackles?
I'm gonna go with Bobby Singer.
And that was the last one.
Yeah, we did. Vegas, we love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to share this time with you guys. We're super stoked about season 12. We hope you are too.